Well, hello folks, and welcome back to Fisting Java Save the Universe. I am Fist-25, and today we're bringing you a video I've been wanting to make for a while, but I've been holding back for 323 because I had to. We are going to compare the F7C Mk2 Hornet to the F7A Mk2 Hornet, which I've already seen them on paper, and we're going to go over that a little bit later, the advantages and disadvantages on paper. And there's not much difference. They are extremely similar, so I don't know how much difference there will be. I am going to put on a custom loadout, pretty much the same for both ships as much as I can, just to expedite the dogfighting combat we're going to do. And plus, I'm not super great at master modes yet, and I'm still kind of learning what to do, how to do it, so hope you bear with me in this, and I'll try to make it fairly quick, although I'm known for my long videos. Notorious, some may say. With that, I think it's time to get to it. We're going to start with the F7C Mk2 Hornet, and first we're going to roll that intro. Take it away, me. All right, everybody, so here we are with the Anvil F7C Hornet Mark II. Just like in the first video I did, it is very similar loadout. I love this blue paint that it has. Just looks really cool to me. Anyway, if you want to know more about this ship, then please check out my initial video. I kind of go over the whole darn thing, and we'll do a little bit more in depth on the F7A Mark II, but it's pretty much the same ship. Different paint scheme, different missiles, and there's, in some ways, the F7C is actually better than the F7A. Just wanted to point out my loadout here on the nose. I have a size 3 gimbaled CF337 on the top here. I got rid of the big box storage thing. I don't know what this Willis radar thing is, always here in every hangar now, but I have two Panther. I have two Badger CF227 laser repeaters, and then on each wing I have an I believe it's an A4DB ballistic Gatling, so a little bit of a mix of ballistic and laser repeater. So I really liked the ship before. I hope it's just as good in master modes, and I guess we will find out. Let's go ahead and hop in the ship, and we will get it all fired up and take off outside of Orison. Wait for my canopy to come down. All right, it's fired up. All right, engine is fired up. We're going to just go ahead and lift up a little bit. Bring up our landing gear. Nice, smooth animation there. And we're going to take off out of the hangar. We are in SCM mode right now. And in that mode in Orison, max speed of 214. That will take quite a while to get out of atmosphere if we just... Actually, it's not that bad. It's going pretty quick. But we're going to transition into nav mode. And we're able to gain some altitude right away because we're able to gain some speed. This ship, despite being called the Hornet, which I used to work on those in real life, this ship heavily reminds me of an F-16, the Fighting Falcon, or the Viper as it's known. Looks like an atmosphere, we're somewhere in the 420 maybe, something like that. And we are definitely clear enough to quantum out. Let's... A little hard to turn in atmosphere. It is fighting me tooth and nail, as I am lazy and I do not want to look for a Seraphim station. Although with the way this ship is fighting me, I might as well look for it on the map. Well, I know we can go to OM1, and let's go ahead and spool to that. So this ship will have a custom loadout, as you've already seen. The F7A will not, because it's still a renting ship. I have not applied the upgrade yet, so that'll be interesting. Basically a modified ship versus a renting ship. And as we're cruising along here, we're gonna go ahead and select a mission. It's probably gonna be tracker training because I haven't really done a bunch of dogfighting here. I don't know what this flashing red is up here. I shouldn't have like an emergency thing. Maybe that's because I'm in quantum mode. Nope. Nope. Maybe if I go back to SCM, it goes away. Nope, it's still there. That's super annoying. Please remove that CIG. Okay, so just hang out for a minute and we'll get a mission. We'll head towards it. And we'll basically be looking at time to kill on something pretty easy. And I just kind of want to get a feel for this ship. All right, everybody. So we are now in the asteroid fields of Jawa. This should be interesting. I'm gonna turn off my cruise control. This should be interesting. Coming up on him on nav mode, basically in flight mode, because I don't want to wait that long. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch back into SCM mode, and we'll try to see if we can get some missiles going here. SCM speed for this ship, if we didn't already say it, is 220. That is a really cool number for me, because anybody who was ever a veteran in the Navy and naval aviation, you'll know work centers are assigned by numbers, and I was an electrician on F-18s, and my work center was 220. So that's pretty cool. I don't have a target yet. I don't know if that's just an issue with spawning, so I'm going to... there we go. So we'll go ahead and lock him with a couple missiles. That wasn't fun. So going into some burner here, trying to catch him. I don't really see pips at this point. Oh, it's because I'm in SCM mode. Ooh, I don't like that. Okay, we'll throw some lasers on him. What's he flying? Oh, 100 eyes. Should be pretty easy. Throw some Gatlings, some lasers.
Warning, weapon system overheating.
I know the trick is for the Gatlings not to let them get all the way hot, or you gotta wait for them to cool down. The bounty's subdued, and we don't, we don't do soft death here. Oh yeah. Okay. So that was incredibly easy. I almost want to take on another mission just to, I don't know, give it a little more of the old college try, because that was a reevaluation mission. What do we have? Wreck site. I can't tell with some of these missions. They have HRT, MRT. I've heard the HRTs are actually quite hard. So I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that. I may need to work up to it and just really get used to master modes. But here's a very light, I think, LRT. Yeah, pretty light. I guess we're going into atmosphere on this one. Let's try it out. We'll bump up our new star map. And of course, there's no routing. Looks like the closest we can, well, we'll get close-ish. Let's get to, I may be on the wrong side of Daymar here. Jump Town, that's exactly where I want to go. Okay, let's try 141. Okay, let's try 141 again. This is the problem with the star map. I want to show you guys the bugs that I experienced as well. Okay, now it showed up. Kind of a pain. I was able to lock that in SCM mode and not in quantum mode. I've heard people have had troubles with that. So with that being said, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and fly over there, and I'll see you when we're close to combat. All right, everybody. So here we are near Daymar. It's pretty dark, but I'm not sure it's dark enough to turn on MVG quite yet. And we do have this target here. We're going to go ahead and lock him up. And as soon as we get missile lock, we will probably fire our missiles. Looks like there's lock. I didn't hear there's lock, but we're going to fire him. He appears to be in a prospector. Now I heard him lock. Looks like those were some hits. We're gonna afterburn in on him. I don't see him doing a whole lot right now. Nine Tails territory. Okay. Okay, he's hitting my shields for sure.
Weapon system overheating. Port proximity alert.
How many hits can this thing take? Well, it appears Prospector is a little more beefy than I thought.
Overheating. Forward proximity alert.
Taking some hits from his friend. Time to kill is definitely a lot higher in master modes. I can pretty much say that. Makes for a much more interesting fight, especially in a little bit of atmosphere. I feel like this guy should already be dead. The hits are very bright. I feel like this prospector should be gone by now.
Forward proximity alert.
Did this thing get way tougher? Pieces of it are coming. Whoa! Like he kind of came back and stopped for a little bit. I need to get some breathing room here. 'Cause my shields are almost gone.
Shield down.
Can we just take him out?
Warning. Weapon system overheating.
Switching to missiles? I'm gonna try. If they don't blow me up first.
Lock. Aft proximity alert.
Okay, I'll get. Whoa, he is hitting me for sure. I wonder if this is just harder in like an atmosphere versus space. And he's fully got his shields back already.
Forward proximity alert.
His shields are stripped, but I don't seem to be doing a lot of damage to him. My shields are on max charge too, and his friend is just tearing me up.
Target destroyed.
Finally, holy crap. All right, buddy. What's his buddy in? Oh, 100i? Didn't I just blow one of your friends up?
Shield down. Warning. Weapon system overheating. Target destroyed.
And I destroyed him. Okay. I mean, wow. That fight took quite a while to complete. and I don't like him, and I don't like this guy. Was that fight funner or more fun? Why is the Prospector so much tougher right now? I mean, even just blowing it up, it's tougher. Wow. I don't know why. It's odd. I went through my missiles pretty darn quick, but it was actually quite nice to make it harder, I guess, to need to switch from guns to missiles, to bug out of there a little bit. And maybe my tactics aren't great. I'm on a mouse and keyboard right now, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that was more fun or less fun or what, but I'm looking for visual damage of the ship. I don't really see any. It still looks pretty fresh. Nice shot of Crusader in the background there. Yeah, it appears the Hornet is in functioning order. I definitely have some red on my screen right there. But other than that, not too bad. So I want to take it back to Orison, and with whatever damage I have and using quite a bit of the ammunition, to see how much the repair bill is going to be, because I have heard that is quite staggering now as well. So I will see you back at Orison when I land and we attempt to repair, assuming it works.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
All right, so we are landed here at Orison, and I brought up the landing page. Not too bad for repair costs, restock costs, and hydrogen. And I guess I didn't use any quantum. So I usually do the repair first, then the restock, then the fuel. All in all, I think I made a few $1,000 off the whole bounty hunting deal there. And I don't know, cost of what, about $2,000 to repair. So ship is back to normal. I'm gonna go ahead and hop out, and we'll call the F7A, and we will F7A Mk2, I should say, and we will see how that spacecraft handles in a fight in its default stock loadout compared to the F7C. So stay tuned. All right, folks, so we are back with the F7A Mk2, and it's really cool kind of digital camouflage paint. I actually really like it. It looks really dope. Looking at the ship, I know for a fact it's almost exactly the same size as the F7C Mk2. Of course, it's got the classic Hornet styling of the big double intakes to a single engine. Looks like this is default stock loadout. On the nose, I don't know if those are Omni Skies, but they appear to be laser cannons. And looks like the same loadout up top as well. The mounts here on the wings, these are size 4 Revenant Gatlings, so a little bit different Gatling than what I had on there. I don't remember if these have more or less ammo anymore, because so many things changed in 3.23. Other than that, the ship looks almost identical except for the skin. I know there is a big difference in one aspect of the ship's weapons-wise, and that is the F7A Mk2 has bigger missile hardpoints, meaning it has size 4 missile racks versus size 3 missile racks on the F7C Mk2. And that's a pretty darn big deal. What it lacks is, in some areas, speed, and it lacks any type of cargo capacity. But again, it's a military ship. Military is not going to transporting cargo with the ship ever. So let's go ahead and enter that pilot seat. Animations are almost identical, if not absolutely identical. We'll go ahead and fire the ship up.
Anvil Aerospace. All systems online.
Sounds almost identical to the F7C. Yeah, they are Omni Sky 9s, so I believe those are all size 2 or 3. We will check our weapons page real quick. And go to our guns, make sure everything is tied to the right buttons. So it looks like the Gatlings are tied to 0 and the Omni Sky tied to my right mouse button. 2,000 rounds for the Gatling. 13 whole rounds for those laser cannons. Hopefully they have a little more alpha damage to them. We'll have to check that. And we'll go back to our target status. Very interesting. As I hit missiles here, it looks like the default loadout's a bunch of Ignite 2s. And that's it for those missiles. Interesting. The size 2s are definitely better than the size 1s, so we'll see if that actually makes a difference in combat. Bringing this ship up a little bit, we will retract our gear. Again, beautiful animation. And we will head out of Orison. It doesn't sound as meaty as the Mark II, the C Mark II, but maybe that's just me. Seems like it's almost not as loud from this angle. So while we're flying out of atmosphere real quick, let's see if we can find a very similar mission to kind of test the waters against here. Another VLRT. This one is asteroids surrounding Yella, so a space battle, which I tend to like more anyway. So I will see you at the asteroids around Yella as I quantum my way towards there. Stay tuned. All right, folks, so we are back. We're in the asteroids kind of surrounding Yella. I can see a neutralize, and there we go. We're gonna grab our target here. I hope. Yep. We're gonna wait for these missiles to lock and see what we can do. The SEM speed for this ship is 220, again, just like the F7C Mark II. So far, it feels exactly the same because I believe the stats for the ship and handling is exactly the same, except for speed. C should be a little bit quicker. There we go. We have missile lock.
Proximity alert. Bogey.
We got 2 missiles off on again, a missed prospector. So we'll throw a couple more on this prospector. It's not even our main target. And we'll go straight into our guns here. Shields are hit automatically. We're gonna try, I guess, a little bit different. Oh, a little desync there. His shields are down. We're gonna try to catch up to him there. He's building his shields back up pretty quick. Hope I don't run out of Revenant here. Well, they're not going too fast, at least. Again, this prospector's hull is very tough. I wonder if that's because, you know, it's a mining ship and maybe it needs a little more thick skin. Slowing the fights down has changed the fights dramatically. Having the jousting gone does make the combat feel better. I've been hit less in this combat. And we'll see if we can't blow him before we attack the other guy, the main target. Holy crap. Oh, there we go. Okay, our main target is a Drake cutter, it looks like. Let's see if we can... I don't want to hit an asteroid behind us. Yeah, we're too close for missiles. Switching to guns. Shields are already gone on the cutter. I don't know how much damage the cutter's really going to do on this Hornet. The shields are, again, 2 size 1 shields. And it's gone. So a significantly faster fight. Granted, this fight was in space versus in atmosphere, but these ships are going to handle remarkably similar. I felt like the F7A, I don't know, I know for a fact it's a bit slower. And it kind of feels better. Even though the maneuvering is the same, it just kind of feels better. That got dark. Okay. I really am enjoying the paint scheme as well on this ship. And the overall aesthetic. I wish they would do more camouflage stuff. I wish they would allow us to buy paints in game like they said they would years ago, but it's a moneymaker, of course. But an interesting ship. Let's see if is there any damage. I don't think I ever got my shields down for them to actually get damage. For my weapons over here, I blew through at least half of the Revenant ammo, and I don't feel like with the Omni Skies that I really was down that low on them. Let me go ahead and shoot them. I mean, 13 shots, that took 3-4 seconds, and they're constantly recharging. Let's look at how fast the Revenant goes. Not too bad. That's about 100 rounds right there. And it got about halfway to heat with 100 rounds. So I feel that really the key, you know, a lot of people are saying that flying doesn't matter anymore, but I disagree. I think when we get to these harder missions, that was a very light mission, right? We get to light missions or onto mediums and HRTs, you're gonna need friends. You're probably not gonna be able to solo those missions, which is fine because that's where the more money is. So you split it up. More interesting combat. You're probably not, you know, I didn't really experience any jousting here, but I did experience a lot previously and now where these ships seem to turn really, really well, maybe better than they should. And they kind of tend to stop on a dime a little bit and do some weird backstrafe maneuvering, almost like you're going to hit them, like they know you're barreling towards them at high speed. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? But now I'm interested in getting back to Orson and seeing how much it is to prepare, refuel, rearm, all that stuff. So I'll see you back at Orson. All right, so before I pull into this hangar, I wanted to give a quick tip to anybody who did not know the new cruise control mechanic, or lack of. So back in the old days, 3.22, just a week ago, we could hit the C button on our keyboard and we would go into cruise control. That doesn't exist anymore in master modes. So now you have to change what we're doing. If we go into, if you want it to be like the old cruise control, you basically need to go into your key bindings and advanced controls customization, go into your flight movement, scroll down. You're going to see these two clicks, or these two guys here, throttle trim set to 100% long press or short press. I set them both. I initially wanted a long press, but now I want a short press. So I set them both to the C button. So what that does is when I hit, oh, I don't know if I want to do it right here. When I hit C and I'm in SCM mode, I will go into cruise control. The thing is, when I hit C again, it doesn't go out of it. I actually have to hit X. I have to hit X and for space brake basically to slow myself down and get out of that mode. It also works in a flight mode, you know, quantum mode, things like that, and it will follow your throttle wherever you set your throttle to. The only caveat is to get out of that mode, you do have to hit X to slow down. So now you know that. And you should also know, once you put your landing gear down, your speed goes down to about 30 kilometers a second, or something like that, a minute, which is actually probably a really good thing. I know a lot of people were mad about that, and Yogi said they're going to change that mechanic, or at least give you the option to take that off. But I kind of like it because it forces me to go slower without actually having to mess with my throttle. So I actually quite enjoy it, and I think it's a good change. So now that we're landed, let's go ahead and bring up our landing page on this fantastic new mobiGlas. And we can see the restock fee for the ammo, $630, about the same as the F7C Mk2, and the hydrogen refuel, maybe a little bit less because we didn't go as far. Although I did click that, nothing happened. There we go, now it's processing. Will it actually fill? Yes, it filled. So now we're fully restocked, fully ready to go. Our missiles are back up there, and we can turn power off.
Offline.
So I'm going to go ahead and go inside and store this ship, and then you're going to see a cut over to me in person, and we're going to go over some stuff on Urkel, ship's performance viewer, and just kind of go over the differences in these two ships, how they are alike, and how they are different. And I'll wrap up with my final thoughts. Thanks for tuning in so far, and if you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. And cutting over to myself. All right, everybody, welcome to this part of the broadcast. We are going to check out my main display here in just a second. We are going to look at the comparison between these two ships, the F7C Hornet Mark II and the F7A. Without further ado, let's go ahead and switch the display. Okay, hopefully my face down here doesn't hide anything too crazy. Here is the F7C Hornet Mark II. We are on Urkel.games, one of my go-to sites for ship stats and things like that. This is the stock loadout of the Mark II. As you can see, the nose turret here, the size 3 nose turret, doesn't have anything on its stock. It doesn't come with anything. That is the downside to F7C Mark II. The top turret, the where you put the ball, or you either have the storage boxes or any of that stuff, that is also empty because it comes default with the storage box. So you do have 2 SCU of cargo capacity this ship. It does come stock with 2 Revenant ballistic Gatling, but nothing else. So it doesn't come with any lasers or anything like that. On the missile racks, you have 2 size 3 missile racks holding 4 marksman size 1 missiles each, and those are infrared missiles. No EMPs, QEDs, turrets, mining lasers, nothing like that. For shields, it comes with 2 size 1 military grade C all-stop shields. Comes with 2 size 1 Regulus military grade C power plants, 2 size 1 Racer military grade C coolers, and the standard Hornet EOS quantum drive, which is a civilian grade C. That's so it can actually travel around Stanton. Maybe in the future it might get a military drive, which is faster, but I mean, the EOS will let you go all around Stanton single jump. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but it's not the fastest drive. It does have a few paints that come with it. Whoa, I don't know why all these paints are up here, because that's way too many paints. But it does have some pretty neat paints that it comes with, and it's, as far as its thrusters go, it has 11 thrusters in maneuvering, and the main thruster is 11.27 Gs forward. I think that's what it says, and main thrust capacity 8.1 meganewtons forward, something like that. So those are the basic stats of the ship. Now let's move on to the F7A. So actually, before we do that, let's go back to the C. We'll go ahead and click on this. If you look at all these stats over here, SCM speed 220, boost forward 480, 250 for backwards, you know, nav max speed, all these statistics over here, hydrogen capacity, quantum fuel, all this stuff, even the hull hit points 2165. When I switch over to the A, you won't see any changes. 1, 2, 1, 2. They are essentially stat wise, they are the exact same ship. They have the same turning radius, they have the same speed, they have the same engine, they have the same hydrogen and fuel capacity, they have the same dimensions. Everything on these two ships, as far as those stats are concerned, is exactly the same. So what do you really get with the F7A Coordinate Mark II? Well, with this upgrade, that if you participated in the overdrive event, you get a size 3 hardpoint mounted. You get nose turret mount with an Omni Sky 9. Actually, that is, I don't know why it says times 2. Oh, it is 2. It is 2 on the bottom because there's an actual nose turret. So you're getting 4 lasers in total, versus if you went to the F7C. Oh, there's a nose turret on there. So, never mind. So I'm stupid and I don't see. Why does it say size 1? The size 3. This is weird. Maybe that is one of the differences I never noticed before. So you put an Omni Sky 3 on there. Maybe you're just being weird, because it looks like with the size 3 F7A Mark II nose turret, you get size 3 Omni Sky 9s, versus over here I'm forced into Omni Sky 3 size 1s, which doesn't make a lot of sense, and that may just be an error circle, because if it has a size 3 hardpoint, it should be able to have a size 3 gimbal. That's the way this game works now. Anyway, back to the F7A Mark II. It comes stock with remnants on the wings, which is the exact same as the F7C Mark II. And the bolt turret up there has, oh, what do you know, some size 3 sky. Yeah, that's just how those turrets work. So it is a size 5, but I guess you could get rid of the ball turret and put a single gun on there, or a single Bearpuck turret on there, and then you could have a size 4 weapon on there. So you could have a bigger laser, you could have a bigger laser repeater, you could put a Revenant or an A4DB on there, or a cannon or something like that. But hey, this guy's a size 5 as well. So look, same. All right, here's a big difference here. The missile racks. These are size 4 missile racks on the F7A Mark II, holding 4 Ignite 2 infrareds on each rack. So 8 size 2 missiles versus 8 size 1 missiles on the C. Hey, look, all stop military grade C shields on this ship. And here's the difference. It has a size 2 power plant versus 2 size 1s on the C. So it's a Maelstrom military grade C, same quality. Comes with 2, guess what? Military grade C bracer coolers, and the exact same quantum drive and EOS civilian grade C. It also has, I believe it comes with 1 paint that it has, and then you can apply the F7C paints to it as well. And then guess what? The thrusters, exact same. There's 11 of them, 11.27 G forward main, 8.1 newtons forward. Is that the same? Oh, it's the exact same. So like I said, these ships, I mean, it's almost a skin, but it's not. It does have different stuff. It has more missiles, or I should say bigger missiles. It's an ability to have bigger missiles and a bigger power plant. And it's a little slower. Let's hop into SC Performance Viewer. I already have it queued up here. In the red is the Charlie version of the Hornet Mark II, and in the blue is the Alpha version, the military version. If we look at the speed, exactly the same across the board. SEM speed, nav speed. Propulsion, very different across the board. Just kidding. It's almost exactly the same. In, I think, a couple areas, the A edges it out, and then the C edges out in other ones like forward and backward. But these are very minute differences. You see the graphs are almost identical. So right here, the F7C max boost, 16.6, the A 15.7. That's a little significant in that speed category, but not enough to really matter. Going into the boost multiplier, oh look, it's almost exactly the same. The axis rotation speed, exactly the same. You sensing a pattern here? Because I think I am. The shields, exactly the same. Hull durability, exactly the same. Total health pool, the same. Total parts, the same. Resistances and stealth modifiers, the same. Dimensions and mass, the same. Inventory and cargo, here's a difference. The C actually has 2 SCU of cargo if it doesn't have a gun. Leave, that's how it works. But the internal capacity is the same. Now, here's a difference. Radar emissions. For some reason, with that size 2 power plant and those other missiles, which kind of makes sense, the EM and the EM emissions, the electronic emissions, are higher on the F7A. Makes sense. It has bigger missiles and a bigger power plant. So the C is actually stealthier. And if you were looking for any type of stealth in a Hornet, which you're not really going to get, the C is the way to go. When we look at IR emissions, it's also lower by a pretty significant amount. Cross-section emissions, exactly the same, because they're the same dimensions. Fuel tank capacity is the same. Fuel flow per minute's the same. Estimated flight time is the same. Operating cost is the same. Pilot weapons capacitor, the same. Boost duration, boost regen rate, all the same. Interesting, right? If we go to the summary chart, we can see in the red is the C, and it edges it out just a bit in stealth, and just a bit in forward, backward thrust, and even a little bit more in. Other than that, they are, I mean, really so close to the same ship. If we go to our metrics to see how big each ship is, they're almost exactly the same size. It's uncanny. So pretty interesting for me to see that. Now I want to bring up another ship to compare it to, the F7C Hornet Mark I. I own that ship as well, at least for now I do, and that is in green. So some bonus coverage here. That ship, I'll say the Mark I in this case, it has more propulsion. It's faster. It's faster backwards. It's faster forwards. It's the same in the strafe. It's faster in the up strafe. It's faster in the down strafe. The boost multiplier is the same. Rotation speed is really the same. It's exactly. Shields are the same. It doesn't have as much hull durability. So the new Mark IIs have a stronger hull. Health pool, pretty much the same. I mean, it's one laser away. It has one more part for some reason. Resistances and stealth modifier are the same. You know, the bonuses you get. Its dimensions are it's a little bit longer, and it weighs a little bit more. Not enough to really matter, I don't think. It has a much larger internal inventory. Why it has a much larger one, I don't know. Because it's just a tad longer? Maybe. It can hold cargo because it's a civilian version. It has lower SCM. It has lower EM signature than the A, but more than the Mark II. It has a way lower IR signature. Now these are all stock loadouts, mind you. It has a way lower IR signature Mark IIs. And it has a lower cross-section than the Mark IIs, despite it really being the same dimensions, if not a little bit bigger. So that's kind of interesting. I'm imagining this wall will change in the future. It has a lower hydrogen capacity. Same quantity. Really, I mean, the 612 to 630 is... Fuel flow, it has significantly less fuel flow in the mains. It has better fuel flow in the retros. It's interesting here just to look at this. The estimated flight time for the Mark I is way longer, 169 minutes in cruise versus 65. In combat, it's longer as well. It does take longer to fully scoop hydrogen fuel than the Mark II. But overall, it's more efficient. It costs less to operate hydrogen per hour and full refuel per hour. The weapons capacitor is the same, the fill rate's the same, boost duration, all that kind of stuff is the same. If we go to the summary chart, we can see where the Mark I edges things out in pretty much kind of a stealth, a flight time, and a nav speed category. This whole bracket right here. And then if we go to metrics, you can see, oh, I zoom out here. Oh, maybe a little. Here we go. It is a different shape. As you can see, it's a different, it's a little bit different. You just edge it out, yeah. So you can see the wings are swept a little bit more forward. We line up the tails, edge to edge there. You can see it's just a little bit different. It's really similar though. The nose is really close. It's really, really close to being the same dimensions there. So I don't know. I found that super, super interesting. So I think that's enough analysis paralysis for everybody. And I hope you're able to see all those stats up there. Last thing I'll do is I will go into the F7A and give it the loadout I would normally give it, because that passed, and I'm to do that now. On the nose turret, it looks like the attritions have better damage now, which they always should have because they are Hurston weapons. So things have changed in 323 a lot, because in 322 and before that, all the way back to about 314, all the weapons pretty much became the same, right? For almost 10 patches, the weapons damage and all this stuff was the same because there was no variation between them. All just generic. But the attritions were always supposed to be the better laser because they were supposed to get more powerful as they got hotter. And this may be the case now. So if I'm going to throw weapons on there, I'm throwing attritions on there for laser repeaters. Now they may get hotter quicker or have less shot capacity, but if they're doing more DPS, then that's what I'm going for. Laser cannons, looks like the M5 is the winner on that one. Very interesting. I'm going to have to really start playing around with this and figure out weapons that I want on vehicles. I would also do that for the other turret. I would throw attrition 3s on there because I want the most damage possible. For the wings here, I usually like a mix of a ballistic and a laser, and now that we're not using all of our ballistics in two trigger pulls, you can kind of look at them. Ballistic Gatling. Look at the Remnant and the A4DB. Really similar to each other. I like the A4DB more, but it is white. Maybe it's aesthetic at this point. It's a white gun. Remnant is a black gun, and it looks like an actual Gatling. Which one do you want? Because they have the same FPS. I'm sure there's some differences in there as well. I think the A4DB has more ammo. They heat up faster. Going with this paint scheme, I mean, I'd almost keep the Remnant at this point. Looks like the heat is the same, and there's a higher power requirement. It looks like it's less stealthy for the Remnant. A4DB has 1500 ammo max, and the Remnant has 2000 ammo max. So I'll have to look at fire rates and things like that. Actually, I can look at fire rate 1200 rounds per minute versus 900 rounds per minute. So the A4DB fires slower, but overall, same DPS. So maybe for aesthetics, I would just keep the Remnant. If we look at the missiles, I like having these ignites on. I like having the 4 missile option, but I'm gonna go over to Rattler 2s because they do more damage because there's actually more missiles in there. It's a cluster missile. I'm going to upgrade the shields. Notice 1500 hit points for those military grade Cs. Well, oh look, so weapons have changed, components are still the same. So it looks like, at least over here on Urkel, it doesn't look like it matters. It looks like FR66s, looks like all shields had the exact same thing here. There used to be variation, even last patch in shield hit points. I think it was 1700 for the grade A's, and maybe that'll change a bit later. But if I had to, I would put the military stuff on. For the power plant, I mean, we're fine with what we have. We're barely using our power over here, so probably wouldn't mess with it at all. But if I had to put the best one on there, a JS400. The coolers, we're barely touching into our cooling. There's no need to upgrade it, but if you wanted to, get a Glacier military grade A. It looks like there's a little more cooling. At some point, we're going to need coolers, right? And then for the quantum drive, I always recommend the civilian, either the Atlas, because it's a little bit faster to spool, and it really pretty much has the same speed and range as the Voyage. But the Voyage, oh, it looks like the Rush is actually the fastest civilian drive now, but it can't make a full jump from Microtech to ArcCore. But the Voyage still can. So Voyage is kind of my default thing. It's not the fastest to spool. It's a grade B, but it's the fastest drive that'll make a full jump across the system. Microtech. I don't think it goes all the way from 1 Lagrange to like Mk5, but you're only going to stop for gas once, and you're pretty much going to do that in anything except a slow drive anyway. So there we go. Let's reset the F7C to stock. If we look at our damage over here, we can see, where is our damage? Okay, 9121 is our missile damage. The F7A, it's now up to 32,560. On the F7C stock, actually, that's not really a fair comparison. Let me do this. Let me excuse me for a second. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer. Let's go to a stock F7A Hornet Mark II versus a modified one. So missile damage 19,000 versus changing into Rattlers 32,000. Changing our guns around, stock with the Omni Sky 9s, we're basically at 3532 DPS, 1207 alpha. Actually go down on DPS. The Omni Skies have a higher DPS. I didn't even realize that. See, I'm not used to these weapon changes. And we have a lower alpha, so maybe that's why my time to kill on the F7A Mark II stock is faster. That's interesting. Just not used to it. 675 DPS on the Omni Skies with a higher alpha. You can get the Quarrelers as well, or the M5A. I'm gonna have to do another weapon video because there's so much difference now. Wow. I'm kind of blown away. So maybe laser cannons are the way to go, because it used to be laser repeaters were the way to go, because fire rate it's 250 for the attrition fire rate is 350. The cannon fire rate with the Omni Sky is 150. But it seemed like it was pretty quick. The M5A, the fire rate is 100, so it's even slower, but it does more damage. Maybe that's the way to go. I think I need to dogfight more and figure it out. But max DPS, it's like we're taking off those attritions. We're throwing on. Now we're at 3,900 DPS versus the stock 3,500. So, wow, variations of weapons. It's a little bit crazy to me. It really is the Gigapacks. We got to learn how to play a brand new game. with that, I'm Fist-25. Thanks for tuning in, and I know this may be boring. If you didn't like it, I hope you skipped it. Let's cut back over to me for final thoughts, final wrap up on the comparison of the F7C Mk2 to the F7A Mk2. Should you upgrade? I'm going to. All right, folks, so it's time now to wrap up the video on the comparison between the F7C Mk2 and the F7A Mk2. And I think you can see now why they are so much exactly alike. They're essentially the same ship. The big difference is the F7C Mk2 has the ability to have 2 SCU of cargo up on that top module up there, but you do sacrifice having guns up there instead. I don't know who actually runs cargo missions in a Hornet, but having that possibility, I guess, adds some versatility. Also, the F7C Mk2 has some speed differences from the F7A. It's a little bit faster in certain scenarios, and believe it or not, it has, I think it has lower emissions. Overall, it's kind of a better ship. I mean, there's something to say about fighting a little bit slower, and I've always kind of enjoyed the ships that do fight a little bit slower, but I don't know if that makes up for it. The F7A Mk2 has one size bigger missile racks, and it comes with a default loadout of guns, but that only matters when you're new to the game and you haven't bought new guns yet, because if I do apply the upgrade, then I'm going to get rid of these guns that are on here and go with a loadout that I prefer. So I don't know, I guess there's room for improvement with the F7A. I think maybe one of the, like the nose mount or maybe the top mount could be one size bigger to kind of give it a leg up. And it has a size 2 power plant in the F7A Mk2. But why? Because it's I mean, for the missiles, is that the requirement? Because other than the missiles, it has the exact same loadout capabilities of the C. I don't know, maybe the components are worth more to salvage or something. But I really love both ships. I am a medium fighter kind of guy, and that is my bread and butter when it comes to dogfighting. Don't get me wrong, I like the heavy fighters, and I do enjoy the light fighters here and there. Really, the speed is a lot of fun, the arrow, and I kind of consider the Gladius a light fighter. It's kind of a light medium. I really like the F8. Anvil is my favorite ship manufacturer, for those of you who have known me for a while. And I have nothing but pride and admiration for the F7C Mk2 and the F7A Mk2. I really like both ships. Not enough to buy another F7C to apply the upgrade to, but I think I am going to go ahead and bite the bullet and apply my upgrade to this ship, because I have a F7C Mark 1, and if I really want to run a cargo mission with my Hornet, I'll use that, I guess. I hope you enjoyed looking at the analysis paralysis of Urkel compared with SC Ships Performance Viewer. And guys, if I actually had lore on these ships, we would do a deep dive, and I would have all kinds of B-roll, and we would go in depth, and maybe we'll do that in the future if there's some changes to the ship, or I just get a wild hair to do it. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to join us on the stream every Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. It's the B Team stream. Come into our Discord. Come hang out with us. Ask questions. Ask loadout questions. Whatever you want. We are looking for people to join us and play with us. You don't have to join the org. You can just hop on the stream and play with us in game. We do all kinds of stuff. We actually give away a lot. Any money that we really make from YouTube or Twitch or whatever, we give right back to the community. When we hit 3,500 subscribers, we're giving away a Gatak Sulan. I plan to give away a Mirai Pulse in a upcoming next 1 or 2 streams. So there's a lot going on in the B Team. Please stop by, join us, say hello. And if this video was good for you at all, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and join the Discord. Again, join the Discord. Please join the Discord. And with that, I am Fist-25 saying, if the fist don't get ya, lightning bolt will. Good night, Stanton.